Welcome to the Explainer. Today we are tackling one of the most common and, let's be honest, one of the most frustrating engine codes out there, P2135. We're going to turn that confusing check engine light into a super clear guide so you know exactly what to do. So picture this, you're just driving along, everything's fine, and then bam, that dreaded check engine light flicks on. And worse, when you press the gas pedal, absolutely nothing happens. The car just feels completely dead, totally powerless. If that sounds familiar, well, you're almost certainly dealing with a P2135 code. You might see a message pop up on your dash that says engine power reduced, or maybe the engine is stalling out, surging unpredictably, or just idling really rough. All these symptoms, they're your car's way of screaming for help. It's telling you it's gone into a safety mode, what we call limp mode, to prevent a really serious problem and, give you a chance to pull over safely. All right, so your car's in limp mode, we get that. But what is this P2135 code actually telling you? It sounds super technical, but trust me, it's not as cryptic as you might think. Okay, so here's the deal. The P2135 code basically means your car's main computer, the PCM, has spotted a major disagreement. And here's the key. For safety, your car actually has two sensors watching the exact same thing. This code pops up because those two sensors are telling the computer two totally different stories. The computer has no idea which one to believe, so it just throws its hands up, triggers a fault, and shuts the system down.
Now, to really get to the bottom of this, we've got to understand the system that's actually failing here. See, most modern cars use what's called an electronic throttle. That means there's no physical cable anymore connecting your gas pedal to the engine. Nope, it's all digital now.
And the absolute easiest way to picture how this whole setup works is to think of it just like the human body. You've got a brain, you've got nerves, and you've got lungs, and they all have to work together perfectly to help you breathe and move. Your car's system is kind of the same. So, in this analogy, your car's computer, the PCM, that's the brain. The sensors on your gas pedal and on the throttle body, those are the nerves, sending and receiving all the important signals. And the electronic throttle body itself, well, that acts as the lungs, controlling exactly how much air your engine gets to breathe. Now, when everything is working like it should, it's this beautiful, seamless four-step dance. You press the pedal, a sensor, one of the nerves, sends a signal to the brain then commands the lungs to open up, and boom, the engine gets the air it needs, and you accelerate. It's all supposed to be instant and perfectly smooth. The P2135 code gets triggered the second this communication chain breaks. The two main nerve sensors send these conflicting voltage signals straight to the brain. The computer gets totally confused by the mixed messages, and as a safety precaution, it just shuts the whole system down and throws up that code.
Okay, so we know the communication has broken down, but what's the actual physical problem causing it? Let's take a look at the most common culprits.
This breakdown here is incredibly insightful. I mean, just look at that. A whopping 60% of the time, the problem is a faulty throttle position sensor, which is actually part of the throttle body assembly itself. That's a huge clue right there.
So, the really crucial thing to understand is that a tiny little physical problem can cause a massive electronic fault. The contacts inside that sensor can literally just wear out from use. Or sometimes a bunch of carbon buildup can physically block the throttle plate from moving the way it's supposed to, which confuses the sensors. It could even be something as simple as a frayed wire or a cruddy, corroded connector.
All right, now for the part you've been waiting for. Let's walk through a nice, clear, step-by-step plan to diagnose and fix this thing logically without just throwing parts at it. This right here is a solid diagnostic path. You always want to start by reading the codes to confirm what you're dealing with. Then, and this is important, do the simplest thing first. Just look at and clean the throttle body. Seriously, sometimes that's all it takes. From there, you check the wiring carefully before you even think about replacing expensive parts. Following these steps in this exact order is going to save you a ton of time and money.
Now, if you have a scan tool that can show you live data, this is the absolute key. As you slowly, and I mean slowly, press the gas pedal, you should see two voltage readings climbing up in a perfectly smooth, straight line. If you see a line that suddenly jumps or drops or gets all jagged and glitchy, you found your bad sensor. It's that obvious.
And hey, here's a pro tip you absolutely cannot skip. After you clean or replace that throttle body, your car's computer needs to be retrained. It has to learn the new positions for idle and closed throttle. This is called a relearn procedure, and depending on your car, it might need a specific sequence of steps, or it might just need you to drive it for a bit while the computer recalibrates itself. Don't forget this.
Okay, wow, we've covered a lot of details. So what's the main takeaway from all of this? Let's boil it all down to what really matters.
So, when you feel that sudden loss of power and you see that scary warning light, it's so easy to think the worst, right? But what's actually happening is your car is being really smart. It's detected a potentially dangerous signaling error, and it's protecting itself, and more importantly, you, from unintended acceleration by going into a safe, low-power mode.
Look, that P2135 code can seem pretty intimidating at first, but it is not some deep, dark mystery. By understanding how the system actually works, and by following a logical diagnostic plan, you can turn a super stressful breakdown into a totally manageable task. Now you've got the knowledge to figure out what your car is trying to tell you and get it back on the road where it belongs.